We do have a quorum.
We do.
Okay, and I apologize for not being there in person. So the one time I acting chair, I don't get to sit down at the. So well, I'd like to, if everyone's ready, I'd like to call the regularly scheduled Town of Fairfield Water Pollution Control Authority March 18th meeting. Did everyone get today's agenda? And is there any proposed changes to today's agenda? Hearing none, I would like to move to item 2, approval of the February 18th, 2026 minutes. And did everyone get them? And if they did and reviewed them, can I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And I can't really see any, so I'm suspecting none.
There's none.
None? Motion carries. Okay, moving to item number 3, old business. To hear, consider, and act on a sewer connection request for 730 and 770 Commerce Drive. I think did everyone see the amended and restated easement that was sent to us today?
No.
And Michelle, can you maybe just because I see I think the applicants are in attendance there. Maybe can you just give an update on this one?
I'd be happy to, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, for the record, my name's Bill Fitzpatrick. I'm an attorney with Russo and Rizzio, 10 Sasko Hill Road. I'm here tonight representing 730 Commerce Drive LLC. The owner of the properties at 730 and 770 Commerce Drive. The principals of 730 Commerce Drive LLC are Ari and Nico Kudavides. They're here with me tonight. Also with me tonight is Robert Pryor, our project engineer from Land Tech. The town attorney, Peter Ockerly, Cohen and Wolf, and I have exchanged at least a half a dozen drafts and proposed changes. We have made significant progress, but have not reached a final resolution of all the issues. Given the progress we've made, I'd request the commission, as the commission did so at 1401 Kings Highway, they approved the application to connect, subject to the town attorney's approval for the amended easement. That approval would at least give my clients a level of confidence with finishing, getting construction drawings and the rest of it. And in the interim, the town attorney and I would continue. We've made a great deal of progress, but we haven't quite put this one to bed. And obviously, I'd like the opportunity to do so. The conditional approval in the interim would be very helpful to us. I'd be happy to answer any questions the commission may have.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Is there any questions that any of the board members may have regarding this? And maybe it's seeing none right now. So, Bill, what's the time frame of trying to get this wrapped up with the town here for these easements?
That's exactly what my client keeps saying to me. I don't know, but as I said, we had probably 10 issues that there were points of disagreement. We've brought it down to one.
And may I ask what this issue is?
This issue relates to emergencies on site and the ability to take down part of the building once it's in place, which obviously is a non-starter from my client's standpoint.
I imagine.
And I think the technical issues will help resolve this because we know it has to be done laterally, as the commission has heard, but that's for the Cohen Wolf's attorney and me to try to iron out.
Yeah,
At least initially, and obviously coming to you.
Agreed. Agreed. And does anyone have any questions? Because maybe I'll just kind of give my thoughts before I kind of open it up for that. But if as personally, I think I would rather hold off until these issues are resolved, because if these issues aren't resolved, there's going to be no sewer connection or a revised plan or something. But I think we could get our act together and approve this. I think I think we resolved the flow issues. The flow is there, but I think we could kind of get this approved through our kind of through the board pretty quickly. But I don't think I would feel comfortable giving a conditional approval without having a executed easement in place, because I don't even know technically can you even build over the easement that's right there. So that's my point. I would not feel comfortable in conditional approval right now without kind of reviewing the full amended restated agreement.
I understand your position.
I'd also like to note for the board and also for this applicant that the town attorney did confirm for me that once this board does make a decision of approval, this would have to go to the Board of Select Persons as well for their review and decision.
Okay.
The earliest that meeting we could get on for that purpose is April 1st.
Thank you.
Michelle, would that be before it comes to us or
That would be
after?
after.
Okay.
Is there any other questions? Or I see this is on the agenda here. It's to consider an act there, and I don't know if anyone is willing to act tonight. I would suggest we probably make a motion to hold this until further return, until a complete document is there to be presented to us.
That would make sense to me, Mr. Chairman.
And I think, but I have a motion just to table and let the attorneys, present a final document to us before any action.
So I'd like to make a motion that we defer review and approval of this proposal until the documents are finalized and available for review.
Second.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much.
Any opposed? Not really seeing any. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to old business. Item number 2, to hear, consider, and act on a modified sewer use charge policy. Everyone get the modified sewer use policy and review it here.
Yes.
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 Does anyone have any questions on this one?
So we also have a guest presenter, Chris. We have David Klazuski, our tax collector. David provided data in response to the commission's questions about bill adjustment thresholds during the February meeting.
Yes. And I think there was a question about that and kind of just the different thresholds. Now, did that get addressed in here with the kind of where what we were thinking? I'm just trying to go back through my notes on what we had before, because I think we were questioning on what are the thresholds for him to come to us for
Yes, that's my recollection is that we wanted some data, which, thank you provided. It was very helpful. That said, okay, how frequently do we see exceptions above thresholds, 5,000, 10,000? And I think the data that you showed said that if we set the threshold at 10,000, you might come to us once every couple of years, is the way I read it.
Correct.
And if we set the threshold at 5,000, you might come to us 3 times in 1 year and not again for the next 3 years. That's kind of how it looked to me.
Yep.
So I found that data to be kind of exactly the last piece I was looking for, the puzzle. I would advocate for selecting one of those 2 thresholds. And as the level at which you would consult with us, before approving. And personally, I'm fine with 10,000 as a threshold. I don't know about the other members of the commission.
I think I would be, I think 10,000, for my personal point, would be fine for me. Is there anyone that's looking for anything lower?
I'm fine with the 10,000.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the 10,000.
Okay. Thanks, Ron. And where would we add that in this for the, on the policy there? Would that be under the adjustments there? That would be the sewer adjustments, item 6. There, you would put that in, so the tax collector would come to us for any adjustments over 10,000.
Yeah, I would say so, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely, yeah, section 6.
Okay. And David, is there anything else that you would like to see in this document?
Well, no, because I did make my suggested changes that Michelle was agreeable to, and I believe the commission was as well. So I agree with it. I'm actually pleased that we have, the actual adjustment process in writing. It's very helpful to me now because for the most part, it works very well. I know we joked last time I was here that I watch these meetings on YouTube in my car. So I did that again last meeting that I wasn't able to attend. And I know there was discussion about the process in terms of, do these adjustments ever get denied? They actually get denied all the time. When I say all the time, I mean it's very common for them to get denied. What's not common is for the sewer commission to deny because, as it was mentioned by Michelle, usually the whole process is vetted before I'm giving it to the commission. So for the most part, I'm only giving to the commission an adjustment that has the full proper documentation in order for you guys to review and approve. I'm not just going to blindly give you an adjustment that doesn't have the right documentation, but before it reaches your phase, when it reaches my office, I receive lots of requests where everything from no documentation to what I always say to my clerk in my office, the documentation has to tell a story. It has to, from beginning to end, it has to start with a issue, a documentation of the issue by a plumber, a contractor, a receipt showing the remedy of the issue, but then also the water bill showing that there was a spike, and then because of that documentation they showed a reduction in the spike. So, ebb and flow, like a really big spike and then a drop. And so when I have that story that says, okay, they had an issue, they resolved the issue, the water bill also shows that spike and then that drop because of the repair, then we'll do the adjustment. But I've had every situation from someone that offers no documentation. I have customers that will offer documentation, but the history of the usage shows no increase or decrease. It's just kind of like a steady flow. So then we'll say, well, we need more, or it's just not acceptable because there is no spike and drop in usage. Or we've had situations where people say, well, I had a leak and I just closed the valve, but I haven't repaired it yet. So then we say, well, then, there's nothing we can do. We need documentation of the issue and the repair. So there are many cases where we're not approving adjustments. So I just wanted to mention that because I know it was discussed in the last meeting. But like I said, it's usually when it comes to the commission, I'm giving cases that are, for lack of a better term, like slam dunks. I'm saying, okay, I've vetted it. I've found that yes, there is an issue, and they have the documentation. So I'm giving it to the commission to look over.
Yeah, David, thank you. It does show whenever we do get stuff, it does show it's highly vetted. Even though I hate approving all of these sometimes, but it does show that they are highly.
Yeah.
they've closed the loop on this, and it's done correctly. So it does show, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I agree with the $10,000 threshold, because as you can see, it's very minimal. I think at 10,000 we may see, as it is. My report was looking at the past 6 years, which is approximately when we transitioned from managing this process from the Public Works Department over to the tax office. And when you say above 10,000, we had 4 accounts over a 6-year period. So that is going to minimize, your process down to almost nothing, because you might see one or a couple every couple years. And I'm comfortable with that only, mainly because we have now the process that we've always been following, but now it's like a step-by-step process that's in writing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good process. Is there anyone from the commission that has any questions or any comments for David, or just in general?
I would just add, the process is robust, the data is robust. Thank you. Just crystal clear, easy to say yes to. The one part that I did want to ask for clarification on, there was a question last time, I think, Chris, you raised it. There's a sentence in there that says nurseries will pay the minimum charge from December through March. And I just wasn't sure, what does that mean exactly? Do they pay a different amount from April to August, or what happens all year round?
Sure, so I can explain that. So back in 2022, the commission approved a policy that said that, let me just get the exact wording. So like nurseries and, so it was phrased as farms, nurseries, and it's cut off on my sheet here, manufacturers. They're given a minimum use charge, because the understanding is that our policy says that we only record consumption from the winter months, December through April. We don't make exceptions and ask our software vendor to reach out to Aquarian and purchase additional readings from other months. We just do that one full batch of readings from those 5 months. And so the issue with, and we're limited to, I want to say it's only 3 accounts right now, 3 properties where we're offering them a minimum use, because the understanding is for these greenhouses or nurseries, they're utilizing water even during the winter months, just like they would during the summer months in a greenhouse, where the majority of the water is to water the plants, and then the water is not necessarily going into the sewer system. It's being used for the watering of the plants. So, for example, I don't want to, for confidentiality reasons, I don't want to name the property, but one example is we have one greenhouse where they used for the 5-month period, it was over 800 cubic feet or so that we would charge for. So instead of charging them that amount, we would charge them the minimum use.
And is that minimum use charged year round? So what do they get charged in summer?
Well, we don't charge for the summer months.
And I agree with the thing is that the way it's worded, we're just charging a minimum use charge, kind of. If they're like anything, I don't think we have to have a minimum usage rate. I think we almost got to take out during the winter months, because all we're doing is just doing a minimum use charge, because we're not doing any media readings. We're just doing minimum use.
Yeah, and like I said, the commission did approve a policy back in September of 2022 that allowed for this, mainly for the reason that the issue was these same properties were having to come to the board every single year, or to our office every single year, to request an adjustment with that same logic of, well, we're a greenhouse and we're utilizing the water in the winter months for that service. And so that's why the commission back in 2022 approved the policy to charge them at a minimum use.
And so I think in this new policy that we have under the flat sewer user fee, non-discharging water use, it says nurseries and greenhouses shall be billed at the minimum usage rate during the winter months of December through March. Should we just take out during the winter months of December through March? So it just says nurseries and greenhouses shall be billed the minimum usage rate?
That would clarify it for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think,
That's what we do, correct?
right, the meter reads are from that period, but the charges, it's really an annual total charge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, everyone's an annual charge through the calculation. So,
So I
yeah.
think just the reference to December to March or whatever it was, that's what I found confusing. I think if we strike that,
Yeah, we could take that
Yeah.
out.
or
no, I agree.
clarify that that's means something different than just those months, that would be great.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Agreed.
Okay.
I agree.
Was there any other questions or comments on the sewer use charge policy?
I think it's well done. I would make a motion if,
I think that'd be great. I think it was very well done. A lot of thought was put into it. Thank you, everyone, for doing that. I'd like to have a motion, if we may, to approve this.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the proposed approach with the two adjustments that we just described. One related to the $10,000 threshold, where you will come and consult with this board before approving. And then the second one is just to strike that line or otherwise clarify that line that refers to the winter months. But to approve the proposal in its entirety aside from those 2 points.
In a second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you very much. That's great. I'm glad we.
Thanks, Chris.
And thank you for managing this so
Thank you.
well.
Oh, not a problem.
Our chairman isn't here, but if he were, I'm sure he'd say how he hated.
I
Reiterate that again.
He would go.
I think our residents are very happy too, because it's like, I've said this before, it's like one-stop shopping. They come in and say, I don't understand my bill. Why is my bill so high? And we handle it there. The old process was, we just collect the money. We can't help you, walk to this building and try to figure it out. But I think it's great because the residents now have quick answers without headaches.
I think it's terrific. Thank
And
you.
I think it's a good system.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to new
Thank
business. There's
Thank you.
at this session. So I guess we will go into operational status update. I don't know who's taking this one, Michelle or John.
Me?
Oh, John.
Yes, sir. There are 3 listed here. Compliance. There has been no compliance issues at the plant or on the road, no bypasses. The facility did see an uptick in flow. We've been touting the fact that the flow has been low when it rains. Well, between over an inch of rain and some snow melt, we really picked up, but nothing anywhere near where it used to be. And in the collection system, we're still working on the Granite Net software. I think we're getting a wee bit closer. Vetting through Granite's procurement and way to pay for it. So that's moving forward. I do see that there's nowhere listed in here about the new flusher truck. I just wanted to update that it's on the way. It was coming to us and it had a little check engine light, so they pulled right into a Freightliner dealer and it's there being looked at. So March is not over, but I will say by the next meeting, I'll be telling you it's here and all is well. So
Are you charging them rent for these?
we better get a discount. That's all I have to report. Nothing else.
Thank you, John. Item number 6 here, capital improvement projects updates.
So I don't believe Mega Jane is on the line virtually. I don't see her there. So I could fill in for her part of this agenda. and give some updates on certain capital projects. And then Beata Orson, our project manager from the town's capital projects and operations office, will give updates on the projects that she is overseeing for us. So to start off with the Fairfield Beach Pump Station in Force Main, the town has received a revised draft 60% design submittal from Ty and Bond, and that submittal is currently in our technical review. When the town's technical review of that submittal has been completed and the 60% design package, which includes specifications and drawings, has been deemed complete, we will post that publicly. We do plan to have an informational session after that time. The town is also preparing an informational memorandum for public dispersal. We'll have that available prior to the public meeting. We've also hired an architectural firm to be a consultant specifically for the town on the design, the facade of the pump station. That firm is Geddes Architects out of Westport. We've had the initial kickoff meeting with Geddes. We have been impressed with the ideas that have been presented to us so far. Yesterday, Geddes was on site on Fairfield Beach Road, really starting a context study for the neighborhood. We're really looking for the pump station to be invisible. So we'd like it to be able to integrate fully within that neighborhood setting there, and not to stand out as a pump station or any other type of unusual installation that is not consistent with the existing neighborhood's aesthetics.
Thank you.
And I'll take questions or comments from the board after each one of these items before I move on to the next. So is there anything in regards to this project?
Just one thought, the invisibility objective sounds wonderful. Is that something that would cost significantly more, or is there a discussion about how to try to achieve that within the funding envelope?
We haven't talked about the funding part of this when it comes to the facades at this point. So what Geddes is doing for the town, and Mega could jump in now that she's arrived at any point here, what Geddes is doing for the town is being that third-party consultant. They're not costing it out for us. Ty and Bond, as the design engineer, is doing so, and Ty and Bond has their own architectural unit in-house that they'll be utilizing to inform the design. So again, what Geddes Architects is doing is being our third-party liaison consultant to help inform our decisions on information that's being provided to us by our design engineering firm.
I understand. I think my input, sort of experience-based bias, is that when everything is free, people want everything. So
That's our experience too.
yeah. So I'm just thinking out loud about how maybe those two things can have an appropriate balance in the process.
It's a very important point. Are there any other questions about Fairfield Beach Pump Station in Forest, Maine? And as I said, Mega Jane has just arrived as well.
Sorry, I just came on time.
Otherwise, we're moving on to Mill River. Mega.
Oh, okay. So Fairfield Beach is all set? I'm sorry,
I think so, unless there's questions from the board.
Yes. Oh, no
No.
questions, so we are good. So next so we are on the second one, the Mill River Pump Station, Mill River Force Main. So Mill River Force Main, we have split it into two phases. We are on first phase. The first phase is purely investigation phase. The investigation is regarding the alignment of the force main as it has bends off the Sturgis Road when it crosses under the water course. So there are 2-3 bends as outlined in our asphalt map. So before we proceed with the CCTV inspection work, we wanted to make sure that we know that the bends are what is the alignment of the force main is parallel to spare force main. So in order to investigate that alignment with the spare force main, we started with the investigation, which is the CCTV inspection phase. So before we go to the CCTV inspection, we wanted to know about the utilities conflict, and also GPR also detects the alignment. So we finished that GPR investigation phase just last month, maybe around last of January. Now, because of the weather has been holding us up. Now the second phase is to do the CCTV inspection, to do the access points. That's where we are at, and that is scheduled, weather dependent, that is scheduled in May. We are hoping to do it in middle of April, but weather is there, so May should be the month that we are hoping to get our access pits and to do the CCTV inspection. After our CCTV inspection, then that will be the major turning point that will tell us the alignment of the force main and the lining work, and we have to investigate if lining is feasible or not based on based on the results of the CCTV inspection. So that's where we are with the Mill River force main with that. And our third point is on H&H analysis. Third one is Center Street or H&H? I'm sorry, I don't want to jam.
We have Center Street. And then, were there any questions or comments
Yeah.
from the board in regards to the Mill River Force Main project? Where that's at? Center Streets.
Yes. So Center Street is in our list, it's on a priority list. Once this Mill River is completed, we want to see how this Mill River, because it's in a similar scenario. The Center Street is in similar scenario with the force main priority and the pump station upgrade. Once this Mill River is done, we want to see how it works so we can base similar work of Center Street on Mill River. So that's where we are. So we want to test out the Mill River. We did finish some of these, having the priority work done in 2025 to figure out what are the immediate work that needs to be addressed with Center Street. We did that. We have that operational priority list. So I think John is following that operational list just to make sure that that repairs or any replacement that needs to be addressed operationally are addressed by that priority list, so that we make sure that we are not just waiting for 10 years and have some kind of a reaction all of a sudden. So that's why we did that last year, that report, to have that idea. So we're going to do the similar scenario once the Mill River is going to get us there. That's where we are.
Thank you. How about, do you have any update on the hydraulic model?
Yes, so hydraulic and hydrology model, they are on full schedule. They're running on full as anticipated. At this point, we are at base flow monitoring work. Dry weather and wet weather, they are doing the base flow monitoring. After that, we will be going into the calibration phase, which is scheduled for this month, for March. And after calibration is done, that next phase will be the sewer capacity analysis. They will start doing the analysis under capacity, what pipe needs to be repaired, what is the priority list, and that is kind of our semi-final design we will be reaching into. And after that sewer capacity analysis, then the training is followed by. So we are hoping to finish this whole task by December 2026. That's our schedule with training and everything. So within this year, we are hoping to finish this whole modeling work.
It's a big step up for us.
Yes.
And we also need to, the town internally, we need to get comfortable with the software. And that's a big piece. That's part of this next phase that Megan was just describing. So after this month, we'll be working with the town's IT department, I believe, to be able to download the software, begin to access the software, develop our user profiles in there, so we're able to take drafts of the model and start to in other words, play with the model and get comfortable with it.
That sounds good. I'm glad this is moving forward. I think it's been great for the town. Was there any that Mega that you had to add to your list? You're good.
I think we are good.
Okay. I think Beta, you're next here on your number 5 planning.
Data.
Yes.
Thank you, Mega.
So for the plant equipment improvements at WPCF, the project is moving forward very nicely. This is phase 1 of the project improvements. Over the last quarter, we were able to sign the contract with AECOM Nickerson team. We had subsequent kickoff meeting with the designer, who is AECOM, and installer of the equipment, a future installer of the equipment, Nickerson. We also had a detailed site walkthrough through the facility to establish the needs of the plant operators, to collect the data, review the data, and then do a total mechanical, structural, and electrical assessments. Following those assessments, AECOM has generated a report for our use on the status of the equipment, and we have moved into the phase of scoping. So far we have done 2 scoping sessions. There will be a total of 4 scoping sessions. 2 of the scoping sessions were the preliminary sessions, which covered the influent building or influent coming to the facility, digesters, disinfection, and salad management and salad processing. So very good, very thorough meetings with AECOM, a typical good designer with feet on the ground, looking at possible options for equipment replacement, equipment rehabilitation, or even expansion of the existing system. So we have a lot of, information. We're moving forward to, as I said, to the second phase of the scoping sessions, after which we'll be able to narrow down our needs and our priorities. Any question on plant equipment improvements?
Yes, none.
Okay. All right, moving on to East Trunk line replacement. So the good news that phase 1 is going very well. As you all know, we had a difficult winter with a lot of snow on the ground, a lot of ice, and a lot of below frigid temperatures. The contractor, which is Terry, working on the Colonna, has been working on site most of the days, with few days here and there that, due to freeze-ups, they were not able to be. What they have accomplished is the following. They essentially have installed the SOE, which is the support of excavation for the trench to lay the pipe for the entire 311 feet of the sewer line. They were also able to do all the bracing and all the structural support and weld bracings and supports for the pipe that's going to be going in. We have essentially tested manhole 59, from which the pipe would be laid down all the way to manhole 58. We have put in about 6 pieces of pipe. That is 6 times 8 is about 48 feet of, let's say 48 feet of sewer is in place. It's still exposed. It needs to be tested before we backfill that, but it has been installed. So that project is going good. We did have quite a bit of flow up through the bypass this past week, actually, during the rainfall events, and We had all three pumps going. We have 2 primary pumps and 1 secondary pump. All 3 were going when we had the heavy flow. The operators of the pumps are on the top of it. We didn't have any issues with that, so it's working essentially. There isn't as many complaints as the town was receiving for the Riverside Drive and the constant dragging of the pumps. Sorry. So for the East Trunk Phase 2 project, I do not have good news. The discharge permit with Connecticut DEP is still in limbo. Kelowna reapplied for the permit on February 17th and submitted renewed the permit under the new regulation and have submitted all the documents to DEEP. We have not heard from DEEP either with the follow-up questions to our permit, or we have not gotten any response. I have been working with Lovriero. I have been working with Eli Gazal for him to push on his end, but we're not getting information back from Connecticut DEP. This issue with the permit is holding us up. Kelowna has a schedule that they like to proceed with the work, and it's going to cause a problem for the project. So the work on the streets is not proceeding as planned. We just have to get that Connecticut DEP permit in place.
And Beta, have we or maybe Michelle too, have we reached out to our first select woman and our local legislators on what we could do to keep pushing this and help us out here?
We have, Chris. So our legislative liaisons, our state reps for Fairfield, have been working on this issue for us with Connecticut DEEP management. And this is at the deputy commissioner level and the bureau chief level.
Okay.
So they are working on this for us. They are championing the department's Connecticut DEEP's review and movement of our application. But again, as Beata had stated, we have not heard directly from Connecticut DEEP as to the sufficiency of our application, if additional technical information is needed, or the timeline on which they are preparing to review our application and issue a decision. I have also reached out directly with the director of DEEP's Water Permitting Enforcement Division. That division is actually the division that issues this specific permit decision. I've also reached out to the group of supervisors and the engineer who are tasked with the review and movement of this permit application and have not heard a response.
Wow.
So we are working through all avenues of contact with the state of Connecticut on this. I did meet with our first select person, Christine Vitale, last week. We did discuss a possibility of her office engaging in some correspondence with the department directly.
Yeah, it sounds like we might have to do that. Keep pushing that. So that's too bad.
It is.
Thank you, Beta. And did you have anything else on the East Trunk line, or moving on to the Phase 5 I&I?
That's pretty much good with the East Trunk pipeline replacement. Moving to Phase 5 I&I. If there's any questions for East Trunk, please bring them to my attention.
Nope, seeing none.
None. Okay. So for Phase 5 I&I, essentially we sort of are. So the difference between Phase I&I project this year and that last year is that the plan is to handle the project internally, instead of having right peers to do the project management of it will be done internally by the capital project group. And the The idea is to continue with the work that have not been done last year, mainly completion of CCTV work, and then formulating the plan to remediate the sewer that needs to be cleaned up and remediated. So we had one scoping sessions with WPCU, and we are establishing essentially goals and criteria as to what needs to be done in 2026. The good thing about it, we do have money left over, which is over $3 million for this project, and we have a contractor with whom we have contract, In Situ Technology, that we are planning to engage to do CCTV work.
That's good. Thank you. Is there any questions on phase 5 I&I at this moment? Hearing or seeing none. I'd like to move on to item number 7, public comment and other. I see item number 1. There's a draft proposed modifications to WPC regulations. The status update on that?
Yes, sure, Chris. I'll take this one. So we have, WPCU has proposed modifications to certain sections of our rules and regulations that speak to contractor licensure, as well as contractor bonding and insurance requirements. And we're looking to update the thresholds on bonding as well as insurance to meet what our town's current thresholds are. And then for licensing requirements, the language in our existing regulations, there's 3 sections that speak about licensing, and the 3 sections don't easily correlate with each other. So we're looking to align those 3 sections and again, update bonding and insurance thresholds to what they are in current time. That's for contractor requirements when it comes to sewer permits. The other part of the proposed modifications to the rules and regulations is in regards to street opening permits. So our existing rules and regulations have one section and one sentence in that section that speak to street opening permits, and it specifically speaks to street opening permit fees. And what it says is that the WPCA has the authority to determine what the fees should be for this permitting mechanism, period. It doesn't speak to specifically it being for excavating, opening the streets for sewer work, but it's implied that that is the case because it is in the WPCA's rules and regulations. The town's legal counsel did point out that the town code has specific rules and regulations to excavation within the town's streets and sidewalks. And that section of the regs does speak to street opening permits, the application, the permits, and the fees, as well as a penalty schedule for noncompliance with that section of the town code. That would be very helpful for WPCA to utilize that section of the town code as it proceeds to strengthen its compliance program for street openings. So we are going to make some minor modifications to what are currently in WPCA's rules and regulations for street openings, specific to sewer work that require excavation, but we're primarily going to be relying on what is in the town code for public works. And we're going to make that direct reference in WPCA's rules and regulations for consistency purposes and for clarity. I'll be honest that there was little to no knowledge within our sewer department. Our sewer department is the primary department that manages the street opening permits, not only the application process, the permit issuance, inspections related to those permits, but also following up on complaint investigations, did not have knowledge of the town code that speaks to street opening permits. So we are working again on strengthening that part of our WPCU's compliance program through this effort. Those modifications are with town legal counsel right now, and I suspect that we'll be able to have a public hearing on those modifications in April.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good. We're looking into that. And just, I'm suspecting that street openings there is that, so if we get, if a contractor comes, they get a street opening from the WPC, or you there, do they still have to go to the Public Works to get one? Fine.
Yeah, it's a great question. So we've assumed that program from the Department of Public Works, and we've assumed it formally. The sewer department historically has been the department processing, taking in those applications, processing the permits, performing the inspections, and mostly following up on complaint investigations. And the funding had gone to Public Works, and now that funding is going to WPCA because it is WPCU, this current coming budget cycle, fiscal year 27, because we are the department that is managing that program.
Okay, that sounds good. Are you all set, Michelle, on your draft proposed modifications?
I am. I have a couple other things I just want to bring up that aren't specifically listed here, if I may.
Yes, please.
So I just wanted to give the commission an update on grant funding. So the congressionally directed spending opportunity for funding for fiscal year 27 is going to be open very soon. The application process is like a late March, early to mid-April timeframe. And I am working with our grants manager to apply for the WPCF Improvements Project Phase 1 for funding potential, as well as our outfall repair investigation project that is on our capital plan for fiscal year 28. Neither project has availed itself of other third-party funding mechanisms at this point. Our WPCF improvements and our outfall investigation and repair project would primarily hit WPCA's account. I believe both projects are 75% WPCA, 25% town funded project. And our plant improvements project cannot avail itself of Clean Water Fund financing because of the contract delivery method that we're using. And so state statutes prohibits the progressive design build contracting method from making use of clean water funds. So it would be of assistance if we are able to be successful under congressionally directed spending, as we most recently were successful in receiving monies under that funding program for our Center Street and Pine Creek pump stations. We received $900,000.
That's great. Whatever we could get.
And other than that, I believe Tom Harris, the town's CFO, is currently on this meeting. Tom and I had connected yesterday about a comment that was made by this board during last month's meeting in regards to, I think it was something related to the proposed budget that was presented and then approved by this board at that meeting. We couldn't recall exactly what the question was, but he is here and he is available to take any questions in regards to finance or the pending budget. John Bodie and we are going in front of the Board of Finance tomorrow evening to present WPCA's proposed budget for fiscal year 27.
Was there any questions that we had for Tom now that he's on?
I don't have any.
No? Oh. Well, thanks for being on here, Tom.
He is a non-voting member of our commission anyways.
Oh, well,
Okay, guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Tom. So he's here if we need him.
thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Michelle, was there anything that you had else under your stuff?
I don't. Thank you.
And is there any other public comment that anyone has? Please raise your hand or speak now. And seeing or hearing none, I move to item number 8, adjournment. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Seeing, second? Someone second it? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Can I have a, or can I have a vote? All in favor in motion? Yep. Yep, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry about not being there tonight.
Good job,
Oh,
Chris.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Right.
Night.